But chat, who is the best community in the world? Come on, now it's time you say you. Why is nobody saying you? Okay, you guys are the greatest community in the world. So, what the greatest community in this world does is that they get over 50 at least in puzzle. Stop putting pressure on us. I'm not putting any pressure. I'm just trying to make ourselves get a little bit better so that doesn't happen in the future. Okay, chat. What is happening in this puzzle? There's a checkmate in 1. Does everybody see what the checkmate in 1 is? There we go. F8. Chat. Do you see the checkmate here? Okay, there we go. That's a checkmate in 2. First, here in this position, you have to see that this king and this rook, they're on the same file, which means that there might be some discovered checks. If you move this bishop to any place, there's gonna be a check. So the first thing you need to do is to think, okay, are there any pieces that I can capture here? You could go bishop here. Whoops. You could go bishop here and capture this pawn. But even better, you could do a double discovered check and then get this checkmate here on d1. Okay, chat, this is a good one to know. The first thing you need to look at is, okay, what checks are there in this position? And you need to think about the fact that this king over here, it doesn't have any escape square because all these pawns are lined up right in front of the king. There's no little air for the king. The king is suffocating in its home. It sounds pretty horrible, but that is what is happening, chat. So you need to do something about that. So how do you take advantage of that? Exactly. You go queen c8 check. And then after captures, you go rook takes c8. And then the king has nowhere to go. And that is a really good thing to know, that there's always this type of back rank checkmate to remember. Let's look at all the checks now again. What more checks do we have here? We have 1 check, doesn't do anything. 2 checks. Loses the queen. We cannot go for any check with the queen. Do we have any check with any other piece? We have a check with the rook. Rook a6 check. Here, what checks do we have? The only check in this position is queen h5 check. There's g6. This is always really good to remember. If you can capture a pawn on g6 and this rook is hanging here, it's unprotected because there's no bishop on g7, then this is a very good move because you can always just capture the rook. Okay. In this position, this pawn is trying to promote. The h pawn is trying to promote. It's very close to promoting. It's 1, 2, 3 squares away from promoting. Now, the issue is that this king is in this square. So if the white king is in any of these squares, then it will have the possibility of stopping the promotion of this pawn. Let's say, for instance, that the rooks were away and the king was on e3. Then after h3, the king would go to f2, and then, you know, after h2, we go to g2, and then you would be able to capture the pawn. So what do we need to do here to make sure that the king gets out of this square, people? Exactly, chat. Exactly. You go for the check, you exchange the rooks, and then you push, because then you make sure that the king is outside of the square. It's always good to remember the square thing. Okay, people. The knight is on d5 at this point. It just went there. What can we do? We can see that this knight is only protected by this queen on d8. That's the only protection this knight has, and it's being attacked by our queen. So is there any way for us to deviate this queen from d8 to make sure that it goes somewhere else so that it stops protecting this knight? Queen is defending too many pieces. You know what the queen is? Empak Osna. That's what the queen is. Which means that it's a donkey that's having too much weight on it. That is what this queen is. That's what I would call it. So this queen has too much weight on it. It has the weight of protecting this knight. It has the weight of protecting this rook. Yeah, it's overloaded in Swedish. Yeah, exactly. So overlotion. No, overload. Okay, you guys know what I mean. So first we take the rook, we deviate the queen from its position on d8, and then we take the knight. And now, everybody, the queen is attacking 2 pieces at the same time. Overlotion, putting too much skin lotion. Yeah. We need to go queen a2 to defend both pieces. Exactly. Good stuff. This is a very similar one to the one that I showed you before with the king and the pawn over here. Can you guys see what happens here? This is the same idea. We want to have the king not be able to reach this pawn. This pawn wants to promote. Our king is very active. What we do in this position is that we go for a nasty check. Rook e1 check. The king needs to stay where it is, because if it goes anywhere else, they're going to lose the rook. So after rook e1, the only move is rook e3. And then we're gonna exchange take on g2. And we are gonna make sure, people, we're gonna make sure that the king cannot enter f1, g1, because if we now push h4, this is going to be a draw, because as soon as the king enters f1, g1, h1, this is an immediate draw. So it's really important to go king g2 and stop any entrance on f1. Chat, let's go for the checks again. Let's go for the checks. This rook is hanging. We can see once again the king is suffocated because it does have 2 pawns in front of it, but it also has one of our pawns stopping any escape through d7. The king is suffocating in its home. What do? We could take the rook after takes, get the rook to the last rank. Would be checkmate. There is a bishop going to c8, but then we have a second check, and then after king goes there, we take on c8, and it is a 100% checkmate, everybody. Very beautiful. There we go. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we can see that the thing that we have here is a very, very, very nice, you know, like little, Wait, what's the name? Wait, what's the name? What's the name? Battery, that's the name. A battery. And they have lots of potential here. Do you see the x-rays? Do you see how much you're looking at h8 and h7? They're just spying on those 2 squares. Like owls spy at everybody at night because they can like have their head go like 90 degrees, you know? So, no, not 180 degrees. So these 2, they are spying. They are spying and they're trying to checkmate this king, but unfortunately, there is, you know, a few pawns here. There are a few pawns here that are stopping any movement of these 2 pieces towards the king. So what we need to do, everybody, is that we need to destroy the defense of the king by sacking our knight, which is in perfect position to get sacked. So this is what we do, everybody. This is what we do. I guess queen here, check, because then the only move, if the king goes here, then there's going to be a checkmate over here. And then if knight g6, there's going to be queen here, and we're going to get this one back. Look at that, everybody. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so the pawns are going this way and these pawns are going that way. So the first thing that we need to see is the fact, this is also very nice, that this king cannot stop this pawn, okay? This king cannot stop this pawn, but this king could stop this pawn if we were just inside the square. This is the square, everybody. So in what way can we make sure that we are able to take this rook and, you know, be close to, like, get inside the square? It's by going rook g4 check, deviating the king from its protection on the rook. We can see lots of deviations here, and now we can take on f2, and now this king is not going to be able to stop this pawn, but we are going to be able to stop this pawn. So that is what we have here. Nice, nice, nice. So this one looks like bishop here would be very strong. This is the first check that comes to mind. If king there, then I am thinking that maybe there is bishop here, because then after bishop e6, wait, bishop check only moves to go here. Bishop check only moves to go bishop e6, and we want to deviate this queen, so after takes, there's going to be queen here. So that is very nice. That is a mate. And the question is it queen here, here, bishop there? I guess it's queen e7, right? Because otherwise the king escapes. So queen e7, bishop c4, you take this one, and we win the queen. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, yeah. Very nice, everybody. Very, 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 very nice. Okay, what could this be? If we fail this one, it's over, chat. We need to get 50. We need to get 50. So, the 2 options that I'm looking at are 1, queen takes e4. 2, rook takes c2. Yeah, queen c4 looks very good as well, because we're threatening both the bishop on c2 and we're threatening the bishop on d4. We're threatening 2 pieces at the same time. But we are rook down. Well, I don't care if we're rook down. I want to checkmate. Chat, I think I found it. Wait. Rook takes, queen here. King goes back, bishop here. And then I don't know where the king goes or where the queen goes, but I think we're going to have bishop c3. Check. Takes, king here, and then we're gonna have some bishop over here. I think we're gonna have something like that. Ah, this is scary. We can't fail this one. Okay. All right, it's the first one. Queen c4. There we go, people. There we go. We got 50. We did it, everybody! We did it for the believers! Okay, let's keep it going. We're not finishing here, though. We're trying to take this to a whole new level. Let's see if we can get a best puzzle survival score. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a big thumbs up and also to subscribe. If you ever want to catch me live, go ahead and go to twitch.tv/AnnaCramling. Hope to see you there.